it's going to be curious to see what it is that they're going to go at Romney and Ryan for. And, whether they will go populist or really try and make this about social issues. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for them to make it about social issues. In other words, but, there's gold in their hills there in terms of Romney's vulture capitalism. I mean, how is it that we have not heard that phrase? I mean, isn't that sort of shocking to you? You people, you person. I mean, we saw the efficacy of that phrase used by Newt Gingrich and what was the guy on all those drugs? Rick Perry. Why are we not seeing the Democrats use this? They're afraid of upsetting their corporate friends? Just say, as Newt Gingrich said, he was involved in vulture capitalism. I mean, do you need a better license to do this? I mean, honestly, who's going to give that license? Who's going to present this on a bigger platter? Does David Koch have to come in and say, like, hey, these guys are engaged in corporate capitalism. I don't know why you don't call them out on it, President Obama. This is a story that I find a little bit terrifying. And the reason why I find it terrifying is because we have been following the possibility of a grand bargain quite a bit this year. And I'm talking about after the election. President Obama, in an interview with the AP last week, said, I'm willing to make cuts in programs that Democrats are going to get upset about. I really think the Republicans are going to, realize that if they take the House and the Senate, that they have to do the people's business. They've criticized Paul Ryan not for cutting Medicare and Medicaid, but for standing in between the grand bargain. The grand bargain, of course, is that we want to see taxes raised on wealthy people to rates that existed 10 years ago, to rates that will still be the lowest rates in the past 70 years. Virtually giving up nothing by 3 percentage points. Maybe we'll raise capital gains a little bit. But, we all know that the vast majority of capital gains is all taken for stuff that has nothing to do with investing in companies so that they can grow. And we also know that 50% of income generated through capital gains goes to 0.01% of the people. So the idea of this grand bargain, sacrifice shared all around, no. Because when you cut Social Security by 10%, when you cut eligibility for Medicare and make it until people are 67, 68, 69, you are cutting from people who are barely hovering above poverty level in their retirement years with no capacity to make more money. They're not living high off the hog. These are not people going out and, hey, I just got my Medicare check. Time for me to get my Bentley. And so what really scares me, piece in Politico about David Koch, the billionaire industrialist, who is helping to steer millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, to elect Mitt Romney, aside from the other hundreds of millions of dollars he puts into the right-wing echo chamber. He is a delegate to the Republican National Convention. And he says, I think it's essential to be able to achieve spending reductions, and maybe it's going to require some tax increases. There it is, folks. The guy who's paying for Mitt Romney's election, the guy who's meeting with Ron Johnson in Wisconsin, going to pay for his reelection in his campaign, the guy who's going around paying for Ryan, The guy who's going around paying for literally tens, if not 20, 30 Senate seats, House seats. The guy who bought his own place on the Libertarian ticket back in the 1980s. Literally bought it as a vice presidential nominee. Is basically saying, I'm going to allow these people I bought to allow for some small tax increases if we can cut Social Security and Medicare. And I got news for you. There is nothing easier in American politics than providing a tax cut. So he's going to provide a legal, will raise taxes a little bit, 5-10 years, it'll all be gone again. But those Social Security and Medicare cuts, those will stay. So how the Democrats respond to the Republicans will give you a good indication of just how likely we are to see this type of grand bargain. And this is my favorite part of the interview. He is putting in, with his brother, $400 million into the 2012 election. Some to Romney, some to securing House seats and Senate seats. This is aside from the other money that they put into other outside groups and whatnot during the off years. He was asked whether there's too much money in American politics. And he said, well, it's a free society and people can invest in what they want. It is an investment for him. And when he says, I'm going to allow for some tax cuts so that we can cut the greatest support for the most amount of people in retirement that we have in this country, Social Security and Medicare, I'm willing to allow for some tax cuts. We'll get rid of those down the road. I mean, tax increases, we'll get rid of those down the road. But once we can lock in this, we have 60% of the American public rely on Social Security for at least 50% of their income in their retirement years. Medicaid, Medicare, if you're an elderly person in this country, once you burn through all your assets in Medicare, you will end up on Medicaid, and that is what will pay for your nursing home. It is the only thing that guarantees we don't have thousands of elderly just literally dying on the streets. And David Koch has signaled his willingness to join with President Obama and cutting this. So cheer for the Democrats if you don't want the draconian Republican Party. But also remember that the moment this election is over, and if the president is continues to be the president, you're going to have to work just as hard to make sure that Medicare and Social Security are intact. One is you're saving the integrity of the program. The other is you're saving the existence of it. So heads, they win. Tails, they win maybe just a little bit less.